Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 10.33. And I was just asked again about the mods I have. You can go to the first episode of this series, and there's a list of the main mods there. The small ones are just there's a link to it, my small mods too, California province pictures and whatever, but they're linked at the first episode here, so if you want a detailed list of all of that, you can find that there. Okay, I like that. That is nice. That's sort of the Luftwaffe command. Come in and nicer image there. All right. I do think the smaller ones are nicer. Okay, this episode we're going to be occupying Czechoslovakia, but this will not be, and I will be making a special. I have not yet made it at the time of recording this. That is going to cover that topic. I'm going to cover the topic of Czechoslovakia and Germany, their relations with each other, dealing, from the end of World War I, so the breakup of Austria, because we will call Austria a German state as part of Austria-Hungary, but the breakup of Austria, part of it, and the formation of Czechoslovakia through to the end of Czechoslovakia as an independent state. Whether I make one covering the occupation, significant post-occupation or something, we may do that at some point. But and I will be putting some of these episodes in a special playlist at some point that cover the special topics, so people can find them and just look at that. But we're going to continue ahead. I'm going to play to post the end of March, because it was in March they took this over. I forget the date. That's some of the reasons why I want to have on my other screens here dates and whatnot to talk about the history. But I know there's at least one, if not a couple of events that should have fired post-Sudetenland prior to Germany taking over Czechoslovakia. So I just want to see if we can have them happen. Okay, range finding equipment for artillery, looks like. Yes, okay, we're going to switch that over to artillery barrel and ammunition. And it's normally the first of the month. It recalculates what events should fire, at least for some coatings of the stuff. So April 1st, yes. Doesn't take as long as I'm used to, because it's not doing the autosave. And we'll wait till the second to see if anything really sort of pops up here. Nope, apparently not. Okay. So, we're going to come here. And I will talk about, and I think, make because this is a little more, well, it does somewhat cover, okay, but before we do this, yeah, because the first Vienna Awards, yeah, that's more of a Hungary, Germany thing than. Okay, so we can see here, I don't know if you noticed here, again, going off memory, and I've coded some of this up for Hearts of Iron 4, but the first Vienna Award, if I'm not mistaken, gives some of this border territory to Hungary. These aren't, as you well know, exact, but the borders always are shifting here. But again, if I'm not mistaken, and this is why I want to make up, this part stayed with the first Vienna Award, stayed part of Czechoslovakia. And I said that, pause there because it had changed its name from Czechoslovakia to Czechoslovakia after the loss of the Sudetenland. Stayed part of Czechoslovakia, and it wasn't until this happened, the actual occupation here, did Hungary get this bit of Czechoslovakia as well. So now we can invite Hungary to our faction because we have pleased them by giving them territory as part of the event. Oh, I'm going way down there because this is still, and yes, we want to invite to faction. Very likely to accept. Very good. Okay, so now we have, now let's get these. We now have obviously Germany in our faction, Italy, Slovakia as a puppet, which is in our faction, and Hungary, which is also in our faction. So they are here. They've already signed the anti-Comintern pact, so now they are in here. Okay, we can get claims on Memel and form the 10th Panzer Division. Well, we're going to form the 10th Panzer Division right now. Okay, doesn't look like it removes anything. Good. Some divisions were most assuredly created out of the bones of others. Well, let's move this up a bit. I do want to get to producing some of these aircraft. But as we can see, that's going to be just 6.7, I believe, and a few other smaller ones that are going to, oh, that's going to be 29 ICs coming off very soon. Okay, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't lock it down. Actually, I was thinking I needed to unlock it. Let's move this up to a positive. That's actually fairly low. Yeah, not that much. Yeah, that much maybe for now. So we're going to get some of these guys coming off fairly soon. Off the production lines, as it were. Okay. So we're going to move these guys in as occupation forces. Border guards, okay. And Slovakia, what does it want? Sometimes it's good. 5 units of interceptors. Oh, sure. Sometimes I say no if I think they're making something that is not useful. Maybe they'll just end up trying to get the production license from somebody else. Okay, Italy annexed Albania now. We are now captains of industry. Very good. And destroyer escort rule. Yes, so we know how to do destroyer escorting better. There, okay. I know we're in 39, but let's look for, well, maybe not a whole lot. Someday you're going to get a carrier, someday we're going to do that, but we don't have those yet. What other 38 or 37 or more critical 39? Let's do that instead. Oh, we may be getting a bit more from having Czechoslovakia as part of our nation now. Well, airborne assault tactics. We'll do that. And well, logistic strikes, that's not a lot. We'll do a lot of that. I guess fighter pilot training since it's back in 38. And ground crew training. Use up all of our available leadership. Yes, we'll set up this metal, money, supplies. Okay, just mostly checking the metal there. We have a lot of disruption from bringing Czechoslovakia into our country. Not 20. Yeah, let's go about there. Okay, they've decided to guarantee Poland. Okay. Romania, we would give them money for crude oil. No. So we're going to say no to that. But what we will do is use one of our diplomacy things here for Romania. Offer trade agreement. And buy a little bit of oil. For just a little bit of money to help bring them into friendly relations with us. Okay. Don't think the size of the trade affects their I mean, how much it improves relations just that we're trading with them and the numbers of trades, I think is what does. German Reich gets surge of volunteers until April 39. National manpower. Okay, so very good. Just for 6 days, but better than nothing. Yeah. Don't know how those all stack on top of each other, all those improvements. Whether they just improve the base or stack one on top of the other and what the order is. Radar efficiency. Land based. I guess we also got that too. We'll probably see that. Okay. Yes, and there we see that. And we need to. Well, we have another slot to give. A partial slot. Officer recruitment program, that would be good. Well, I'm going to trust that somehow this is actually helpful. Well, I don't know. It's 5% down on leadership. Oh man, I don't know. Oh, that's... Anything, is it? Okay. Access, propaganda ministerium, massive education, normal black ice, Gather Princip, Reichsforschung 1%. It's like you see the TRE, SS Junker School, 5% down. Mobilizing HQ structures, 3%, Imperial City Government 2%, Advanced Education 5%. Improved technology 34. Well, okay, I'll bite it somehow because it may trigger some other effect that will specifically boost our officers, hopefully greater than the cost of 5%. Problem with 5% is 5% of what? You don't, a developer doesn't, know necessarily what they're, okay. Barrier armor thickness has advanced, very good. We're doing liminal research here. Yeah. Yeah, we'll do that. Just to do some. Okay, well, we're now to what would be full production of our area, which means we are, at least currently in my opinion, not producing enough other things. Right, okay. Let's do 2 more fighters. Two more medium bombers. Okay, and 2 more flying boats and 2 more naval bombers. That to the bottom. Yeah, I should be doing more aircraft with all of this, and that's good. France is mobilizing, they'll soon be able to. Okay. Geschwalder, General Weber, named after General Weber. Okay. Do we want to do this? Yes. Put it into production. Yes. So, let's move this up since it's going to give us our medium bombers. Oh, well, right now it's 0 ICs, but I think it will eventually readjust into something, but it's starting out with some partially completed there. Okay, I wanted to see if we can see it has maybe some industry there. Right, we're gonna claims on memo. Okay, claiming memo, Lithuania agrees. Oh, well, that's great. We doing this is a great thing, as we can see. It's going to get rid of all of our dissent, and that makes all of this unnecessary. And it does give us, okay, just 1 IC. We'll get some coal. And move their ships up to there. And a little more leadership. Nice. Okay. Yeah, light armored designs. World War I and the progresses that came out of it have really messed up society in the world. I guess I'm going to save a lot of this for the talk on Czechoslovakia. But should Memel be German? Should Memel be German today? I think it's part of that. No, it could be part of Lithuania. I'm not sure. It could be part of Lithuania, or it could be part of that weird sort of Russian military territory that still exists down in here. I don't know it. But should it be part of Germany, or should it be part of Poland, or should it be part of Lithuania? Well, with World War, I'm not going to go into deep in this, but with World War I, out of Wilson's 14 points, is everyone should be able to do plebiscites to determine what countries they are, so the people living there, the current residents, should determine what nationality, what state you get to join. So does that mean if a city like Memel, that you flood in 1 million Germans, get in modern day Germany, get on a boat and land in Memel, and hey, we're having a plebiscite today. We all moved here. How long have you been there? Well, we've been here 10 minutes. Well, it's ours now. Or, well, you weren't citizens. Well, no, but we're residents. We've been here 10 minutes. Or, well, we've been residents here for 10 years. We should get to vote. Like a lot of people say about illegal aliens in America. or just aliens in America. Well, they're resident aliens. They should get to vote because they're affected by the political decisions. True, they are. And they live here, yeah. And I'm even talking legal ones that we've agreed that they should live here. Should they have the right to vote just because they live here? Because they're residents. So popular determination, or whatever you want to call it, should that determine what territory? Well, what if they've been there for 500 years? Should that determine it? Well, what if they've been there for 500 years, but not the last 50 years? Could that determine it? Or how about the way it used to be before World War I? It's what political entity is strong enough to hold the territory. And you may go, might doesn't make right. Well, yeah, but we'll talk about, because there's some stuff that really sort of covers in Czechoslovakia and the Sudetenland. Okay, take through training. Advances, I think that is this one. No, that is not this one. This one here? Yes. Okay, we'll do armored spearhead now as a replacement. Okay. Radio Zissen, Arabic and Persian. Germany to begin broadcasting anti-Semitic propaganda in Arabic, Persian, Turkish, and Hindi. Our modern shortwave station, Radio Zissen, was, I wrote this a long time ago, received in the Arab world better than any other. Received as in, they could tune into it and get clear broadcast. Not that's what I mean, and that does make sense if you was received. The Radio Zissen broadcasts professional anti-Semitic programs on a daily basis. They were a mixture of quotes from the Quran and Arabic music. David Mushastehev, I'm sure I'm butchering that, along with Barim Filk, were to work on the Persian programs. And there's a picture of him. That's from the period flyer or something set up for it. And you can see the flags. And yes, Persia's flag officially was that big and long. So and there's a white stripe on the Arabic flag or Saudi flag, but you can see the various Turkish, Iraq, Iran, Egypt, and Saudi Arabia. So this will improve, though Egypt is gone now as a country because of the reasons, in good reasons, within the AI. But yeah, helps out just a bit, our relation down there. And if we want to do it, you can do no need for, but we're going to rent some supplies and do it. Now this movie, that may still be linked on, I do have it somewhere on my YouTube page, links, and some of them gone dead to various source material. A movie, Deutsches Land in Africa, German Land in Africa. A documentary, yes, it's propaganda. Yes, it is Nazi propaganda for sure, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't see it. I've had at least one person complain, it shouldn't even highlight it for people to see it. Well, you think if Nazi propaganda is that effective, well, then we're all screwed. You should be able to examine stuff in the past. And so this is a movie that looks at combination of what sort of Germans done in the past, and this is actually a relatively current film footage from Southwest Africa, the Germans. So it's promoting up to the German populace. That's right, these guys started out up here in the movement because they were in the wrong territory. Okay, tank crew training is improved. Okay, King Carol II meets the Fuhrer. At Berchtesgaden Gardens in November 1938, he greatly insulted us by declaring to the Romanian gazetteers that he came into the Reich only to visit his relatives. Furthermore, he wants to meet the Fuhrer only because his tour of Great Britain, France failed. Yes, So basically, he's wanting us to support him without any real costs to us. But no, thank you. Okay. Goebbels announced that the winter health from population 39 earn approximately 11.4 million Reichsmarks. This is an event that was given to me by my friend George from Czechoslovakia, or Czechia now. I've tweaked the effects a bit, a little less money, but more supplies, because I want to see the supplies again as domestic, primarily. Okay, carrier bulkhead layouts advance. And is grayed out. I guess we can do. I guess we'll do this. Or you can have energy. Let's look at revolt risk map. Okay, it's all green. I was just wondering if any of this wasn't. Okay, AP ammunition is advanced. Light and heavy cruisers. Well, okay, it's been announced that the 1940 Olympiad is to be held in Helsinki, Finland again, and the Winter Games in Germany at the Garminch Parkinson or whatever this is, when they held them last time, because Japan's being a bad boy in China. And so the Tokyo Olympics are canceled. Submarine classes advanced. Very good. The regular ones now. We're still doing that. I don't know that, well, yeah, let's do some of these other 39 technologies first. That to me just looks so much better, that over that. Oh well. Just my tastes. They're sensible and reasonable. Close air support. Yeah, I think that is, yes. I think that is over here. Yeah, okay, grayed out. Tactical air support. We'll switch over to that, yes. Okay, and no longer needing those levels of reinforcements. Okay, Reich colonial day Tagung in Vienna. So now that we've, of course, it's been some time, but taken over Vienna, the RKB is having a big event down there. That guy there, well, all the rest of the, I didn't know this at first, but that guy there is, I actually thought originally that he was some sort of veteran that of like Tanganyika that came to live with his like former officer or whatever as a valet or butler or something, and I don't know if that did happen or whatnot. I could see it happening. Because it may be, especially if you were looking at the 1920s and early 30s, it might be a better life living in Germany than in Tanganyika or somewhere. And so come out there. Found out a little bit more. He was an actor who lived in Germany, who worked in films when he could get roles, but also did sort of gigs that would dress up in the uniform for the Reich Colonial Bund, whatever, and sort of be the black guy there. And there were several others, 2 or 3 other black actors living in Germany, including in the National Socialist era. And it's sort of weird. The Germans, didn't quite have the laws that banned race mixing with Africans that they did with Jews and some other people. I think mostly because it just wasn't on their radar as being too rare. And the Nazi propaganda is definitely talking that Africans are inferior than, Germans, and then Aryans or whatever language they wanted to use, for sure. But they also didn't see them like they did various European sub-races or whatever as competitors. They were sort of lots of people way off somewhere else, and then a few living in Germany. They were much more worried about the corruption of African culture into Germany, especially like with swing music. And I don't know if I've ever done any events for it, but I found there was one official, and it wasn't terribly innovative or good, one official National Socialist swing band that was sort of supported by the party. But I know there's a whole movie about swing music being repressed in Germany. It wasn't quite that. I'm not saying it wasn't repressed, but they did have an official swing band that was played on the National Socialist airwaves, sort of the good swing music, as it were. Okay. CAS ground crew training. So they were more worried about some of that. Okay, we're going to let these go. We have 38 technologies. British guarantee for Greece. In the aftermath of the Italian expansion into Albania, Britain and France offered Greece guarantees on the 13th of April 1939. Temporarily, the British guarantee April 39 had placed fascist Greece beyond Italian reach unless Mussolini was prepared to join or indeed to start a general European war. Okay, interesting. So really, in my opinion, we're going to talk about this in the special in more detail. It was the failure to support Czechoslovakia over the Sudetenlands that make the aggressor states, particularly Germany, not put much store by these guarantees. And so it was smart, in my opinion, for France, and also is it laser superiority tactics, or yes, over here. Okay, we'll let that continue. For France, but also Britain, to refuse to give, whether it was guarantees or an alliance or whatever, to Romania, because neither of those nations domestically were willing to do it. The population whether the governments would have been willing to do it. I think theoretically they would have been willing to do it, but they knew it wasn't going to be, if there was a war, or even stating that you're going into alliance could disrupt your chances at the next election, kind of thing, over it. And they really weren't, the population might put up with you signing it, but they weren't going to go to war. Initially at the time they were, because Germany was still far away, more worried about the Soviet Union. So they weren't going to guarantee the Romania, because they knew the domestic populations of their nations weren't going to put up with it. And two, it was too remote for them to effectively get troops and equipment and whatnot and to support Romania against Russia. And so since that was sort of too far away, when you look at Czechoslovakia, which is a similar sort of thing that France did have that on, and then didn't stand by it, and then as we can see here now, Poland is in the Allies camp, people aren't believing it. That's the problem. People aren't believing it, or leaders aren't believing it. Okay, Luftwaffe propaganda wings, after the prototype was produced, a relevant number, however, not meeting required technical criteria for an interceptor, Luftwaffe Goebbels nevertheless ordered the German media to run a campaign in which the new fighter was displayed as the latest innovation of German Luftwaffe to boost its morale even further. Okay, so we get popularity, lose ICs until May 25, a month. Ruling party support. Okay, that seems awfully big. I'm guessing that's revolver held. That's 5% ICs and 5%. Yeah, I get that it's a propaganda effort. Yeah, although the I've never played any. No. It seems awfully expensive. Propaganda effort. Awfully expensive. 1% for a month. Sure. I mean, in both of those. Sure. I'm with you on that. Okay, railroad network advance. Very good. Railway level 4. We'll take that. Okay, so we get 0.2% more for IC efficiency and supply throughput. Very nice. I know it seems minor, but it can be critical. Okay, I'm trying to keep these episodes somewhat short, so we're going to save the game here. I want to thank you all for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. See you next time for more, yes, even more Hearts of Iron.